I mean, obviously the winning regimen they've put up through the last 5 years, of really since they've been in the league. Got such a competitive team every year, got such good players here. The living arrangements, from talking to Pacioretty and Revo just through the last couple weeks, it seemed like everything was a pretty good fit for my wife and I and our new son. And the winning aspect of this team really helped in everything as well. And, the great players they have here. So lucky enough it all worked out, and, this is where we wanted to be.
Mitch, how you doing? Willie Ramirez with the Associated Press. Kelly had just said that there's always pressure, there's always an expectation. Ever since his team's come into the league, right? Mm-hmm. There's been a winning culture, as you've seen. You come from a city and an organization where there's been pressure for decades. Mm-hmm. What's attractive most to the challenge of going from there to here and running right into this challenge with this roster, this locker room, this culture?
That's a good question. I mean, you want to be in a place where you want to win. That's the whole goal of why we do this. You want to hoist that Stanley Cup. This team has shown that they can do it. I'm lucky enough to now hopefully bring another piece in to help bring it back here. I think we put the most pressure on ourselves as hockey players. That's how we play the game. We want to win every single night. You want to win every battle. You want to win anything you can all the time. Like I said before, this team has, since it's entered the league, really pushed to, push the boundaries and be that winning team. And, that's where I want to be. I want to be in a winning situation. I've been lucky enough that I've been on some very good teams that just, haven't. Sorry, everyone. That's my father, eh? New. Welcome to Vegas, eh? Yeah. I've been very lucky to be with some very good teams and very good players. And, unfortunately enough, we just we weren't able to get over the hump, and that sucks a lot, to be honest. But you got to look past things. We got a new great opportunity here with an unbelievable team, like I've spoken about the last, couple minutes, and we're very fortunate and lucky enough to be here.
Mitch, welcome to Vegas. Your thoughts on Vegas as a city, experiences that you've had being here in Vegas and playing against the Knights in T-Mobile Arena.
Yeah.
What's it like for you?
Playing in this arena-wise, it's all time. It really is. It's crazy. Just the vibe you get as soon as you walk into the arena, to warm-ups, to the starting of the game. We as athletes never really get to see the start of a hockey game, of like how they kind of get the fans into it and how they bring the fans off the seat onto their feet, get going. That was my parents, lucky enough, got to see it the last couple of years we've come here. It's a pretty good destination spot for to come watch a hockey game, and just seeing the videos from their phones, seeing the love that the fans give when you come out on that ice, it's pretty special. So, the city itself, obviously everyone just thinks of it as the Strip, and there's so much more to it. Like I said, I got lucky enough to talk to Revo and Pacioretty quite a bit, just about everything off the Strip, living-wise, the schooling-wise, just how tight-knit the communities are, the privacy-wise in that aspect too. So, yeah, a lot of things just checked our box. My wife and I like to go out and, enjoy ourselves and have nice dinners and stuff like that, and we can still do that going down to the Strip, or you can do that in the Summerlin area, and that's something that really dragged our attention.
Hi, Mitch. Steve Karp with the Sporting Tribune. You got a chance to play for Bruce Cassidy at Four Nations. Mm-hmm. Could you talk about what that relationship was like, and what it will be like in your mind going forward, playing for him full-time as a head coach?
Yeah. Well, before that, obviously, I played against him a lot, being Toronto-Boston rivalry thing. Played a couple playoff series against him, and he's always been a high-end coach. Getting to know him very personally-wise at the Four Nations was awesome. Just his help with the power play throughout that tournament was amazing. With his power play that was going on here the whole year, of how deadly they were really all year. First in the NHL, which is very impressive. And, he's just a very down-to-earth guy, talks very calmly, listens to your points, listens to what you got to say too. And, that's conversations you want to have with your coach. You want to be able to, express yourself and let him express himself, and, find where you can help each other out in great areas. So, looking forward to, playing under him. And it's been great success before.
Jesse, Ken, Hi, Mitch. Jesse Granger at The Athletic. You don't hit free agency often as a hockey player. What were the conversations like between you and your agent and to turn down that opportunity to sign this deal ultimately?
It was a wild one. It was unexpected in a way. We didn't know what was really going to happen. I expressed to my agent that, we had a couple teams that we really liked and really wanted to look forward to meeting with and talking with. And, I thought through just speculation, stuff might really start falling around draft night. I think that's when stuff kind of happens, especially with signing trade stuff. So we were kind of just hanging out at home, not knowing really what was going to happen. With a bit of speculation, maybe something might happen eventually. And then, I don't know. My agent called. We kind of got the word on Friday night that something might be going down with Vegas and Toronto, and how that feels to my wife and I. And like I said, this was a spot that was very high on my list, and we wanted to come here, and kind of went back to my agent and said, I'm open to doing this if we can find a way to do it. And a couple hours later, Kelly called me and said that we got a deal going on. So was very happy, very fortunate, and I don't know. We thought about going to free agency, but this is the place we want to be. We didn't want to lose that opportunity, and we want to join this hockey team.
Kelly had said that they've kind of been interested in you for a while, that there was potentially something around the trade deadline, 3-team deal. I don't know exactly what it was, but when was the first time it actually got on your radar that it was possible that you were going to come here? And when was the first time you actually had real discussions with anyone, family, anyone around you that's like, should we go to Vegas?
Yeah. Well, I guess that really kind of hit trade deadline day. I think it was the day. I think that the day prior we got offered a trade to go somewhere else. My wife was 7 or 8 months pregnant at the time, and we weren't really going to go somewhere that was maybe just going to be a short stint. If we were going somewhere, we were going to sign for an extension, raise our child there and grow up there. And then we kind of heard that Vegas might be interested in doing a 3-way deal. From what it sounded like, not much really kind of happened going forward process-wise with trying to work the 3 teams. But that was kind of when we started really talking, saying, well, it sounds like Vegas got interest in us. We have interest in them. That's kind of when we started sitting there in a while, trying to think of it in a way, but not overthink it, I guess. At that time, I was still very committed to playing Toronto hockey. Wanted to focus on just being there and finishing a job there. So I'd say really when kind of the season ended, after the next 2 or 3 weeks, I sat down with my whole family, our agent, and went through kind of the discussions of what stuff could look like, how we can figure this out. And luckily enough, Vegas came with, the deal on Friday. And like I said, we talked about that. This was our first destination we would like to go to. And it worked out very well.
Hey, Mitch. Vince Sapienza here with Fox 5. Just curious, I'm sure it's been a wild little bit for you. You talked about talking to Revo and Max about what about the current guys on the roster? How many have reached out, or and the relationships you've had, whether it be Team Canada or just growing up through your years?
I reached out, or Stoney reached out to me Saturday morning, I want to say it was, Friday night, Saturday morning. And then Jack texted me, I think it was Saturday morning. And then a couple other guys just kind of texted me throughout the last couple days. Got thrown in the group chat today, just kind of said hello to everyone and saw if anyone was really around town here. And it's been a lot of fun. I mean, we're just trying to find out living style now, living wise, where we're going to try to, find our home and stay for, the 8 years. And it's been great. They've been welcoming us with open arms. The wives have been extremely helpful to my wife. And we're extremely grateful for that. And it's a team that has a lot of star power. But getting to meet Theodore, Hill, and Stoney this year at the Four Nations was awesome as well. Just kind of, not just for myself, my wife's side of things, just talking to them about the living style and everything like that as well. And for my side of things, wasn't too much real talk about coming to Vegas at that time. It was more so just, trying to win a gold at the Four Nations with those guys, and just playing beside them, getting to know them very well. They were very committed, hardworking guys that, whatever they got put in front of that they needed to win, they just did what they had to do, and that was pretty eye-opening and special.
Mitch, for a lot of the guys that have been here, well, the 3 guys have been here for the whole time, and then other guys that we've seen start families here, they've all commented on how it's different. The mindset changes. You go from being a superstar hockey player to a family man, and all of a sudden your priorities change. Yeah. You talked about the community, talking to Revo and Max, and how that became important. Can you just talk about the progression of being a young superstar in Toronto, growing into your career, and now how the priorities have changed to also including being a family man and a brand new father?
Yeah, it's been eye-opening in a way. To be honest, it's been really special. Being there for my son's birth, and just seeing how strong and amazing a woman's body and my wife was in that moment was it was tough to explain. I mean, if you have a child, I think it's tough to explain that kind of moment. But quickly things change. I mean, we were going into the second round, I believe, right before we had Miles, and hockey's such a priority in all of our minds. But as soon as I kind of got home from the rink immediately after games or anything like that, I was trying to figure out how I can help my wife with my son and try to, regardless, staying up late some nights, trying to take care of him or trying to help my wife just get a couple hours of sleep between times of feeding. It really changes your mind quickly. And I was fortunate enough to have a lot of guys on Toronto that had children that gave me the rundown multiple weeks beforehand. But as a kid, I guess, in a way, or as a person, you just sometimes think, it's not, it'll be different or something, and then it happens, and you're thankful for the lessons that other people taught you throughout the way. And but your mind definitely changes to being a family man than just a hockey player.
Hey, Mitch, it's Nick Walters with Channel 13. First of all, congrats. Many hockey fans' reaction when they first saw the news was Mitch Marner's going to get to play with Jack Eichel. I know you played on Team Canada. He was on Team USA. But what do you admire about his game, and how do you think you guys could really pair on the ice? Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. That's obviously an exceptional player, a guy that really moves well up and down the ice. Both ends of his ice, very responsible. At the same time, he's got a deadly shot with his vision and playmaking style as well. So, I'm very excited to start working with him and try to, figure out the chemistry quickly and get that rolling. I've talked to a couple guys that have been his teammates that have said just unbelievable things about him as a human. So I'm very much looking forward to being in the locker room with him, starting to learn, just tendencies of where he likes to be on the ice, where I like to be on the ice, how we can, work it best, and try to figure out ways to, score some hockey goals and win some hockey games.
Take a few more for Mitch. Next we'll go to Brian.
How you doing? Congratulations, Brian Salmon, NBC Las Vegas. First would be when Vegas, it's been a long time now, not a new team, but when Vegas first came, you're from Toronto. Obviously, hockey's big in Toronto. What were your first thoughts on, goodness gracious, to have a team in Las Vegas? And for that point, Vegas winning the Stanley Cup. It's been a long time since a team in Canada's won one. Your thoughts on that, and could you ever imagine that you would actually be playing for this team in Las Vegas?
I think my whole mindset the whole time I was in Toronto was it was really tough to leave Toronto, to be honest. I didn't ever think it maybe come to that day. When Vegas first came into the league, I think it was a shock. Like, everyone thought it's going to be a team that is going to be competitive, but a lot of teams are going to come in here and maybe do some stupid stuff the night before hockey games. I think that's what everyone's thought was, and some thoughts. So, and then kind of just realized quickly there that as soon as this team was made, that they were guys that were willing to work and battle, and it didn't matter of the names on the team. They were just there to do their job, and they ended up winning a lot of hockey games. And then, with Kelly and Bill and McPhee, sorry, thank you. I'm still new. Let me try to get. I'm trying to get all everyone's names down. But they started just really making a winning atmosphere here, and really pushing. Just keep making this team better every single year. And last year in Toronto, or 2 years ago, really kind of stuff. We didn't win, obviously. We didn't do what we wanted to do. Stuff started kind of going, a little north, a little south. We didn't know what was going to happen. A lot of trade rumors all last summer. Didn't know what was going to happen in that regard either. And, as soon as the year started up, we're ready to commit and play hockey and, see what would happen. But, at the same time, we're willing to take it to the distance and, kind of told Toronto that that was our plan. And, I was so grateful to play there for 9 years. I said it at my end of the year interview there that I took a risky pick on a small kid from Toronto that, was forever grateful to be able to wear a Maple Leaf jersey and forever to be able to play in front of, some of the greats that ever wore that jersey. But just now as being a family man, a father, we thought our time was, ready to look somewhere else and find a new home and find a new place to grow our family. And like I said, I'm so grateful to be here and so happy to be a part of this team.
Hi, Mitch. Welcome to Vegas. I guess being able to go back to wearing 93, maybe the significance of that number and how excited you'd be able to put back on 93 after all those years in 16.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it. The first actually kind of time I saw it on someone was on my son. So me and my wife in our hotel room put it on him, and it was just a really special moment. It's a jersey that I wore with the London Knights for the 3 years there and had great success with it and really enjoyed the number. And my dad was a big Dougie Gilmore fan growing up, and then I, luckily enough, got to watch some great highlight clips of him. And he was a little guy at the time and was just a little buzzsaw out there that really kind of annoyed people out there. And from that moment on, I wanted to wear 93, and obviously that number's retired in Toronto for great reasons. And as soon as I came back to a new team, I was talking to Kelly on Friday night, Friday night I think it was, and he kind of gave me the call of what number I want to wear, and said 93, and I think he had a pretty good understanding of me going back there before I even said it. So I'm very happy to be back going to it, and hopefully it brings great success.
Take a last call. Questions for Nick?
Well, Mitch, I guess it's full circle since this is the second team you've been on that are the Knights. How has this kind of felt like destiny for you almost to be in the seat you're in right now?
Yeah, it's a full circle moment for sure. It's a really cool feeling to, obviously it's the Vegas Golden Knights, but to be called the Knight again, something I took with great passion when I was in London, and something I take great passion with being here in Vegas. And very much looking forward to the start of the season and getting going here and getting around the guys and, just really finding our way to how we can help this team win hockey games.
Thank you, Mitch.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.